race to the finish line. Wallace, Sprague, who's got it? It's going to be Wallace. Doesn't get much closer than that.
Close contact there.
Uh-oh, they're rubbing now. There's a tire loose on pit lane. We could have more close calls today at I-70 in the pit lane. Take a look. You got to get past this barrier first. Then on the driver's right, you've only got about 3.5 feet before you hit the wall. And on the driver's left, well, Benny Parsons, you could have a real problem.
All these trucks making pit stops need to cheat toward the pit wall as much as possible, because they get too far out and the jackman is jacking the right side up. You can see what could happen.
This number and Scott Hansen have long been feared at the I-70 Speedway, but it's always been behind the wheel of a lightweight stock car. This is the first time that Scott and the 3,400-pound Chevy will start here at I-70. Now, Scott, can you take anything from your former ASA days and translate them? Obviously, you've qualified well fourth, but do you translate them to the race here today?
Well, it's going to be pretty much the same deal. You know, you just got to find a place to run and stay out of trouble and be around, you know, the last 50 laps. You know, we've been around here enough times, and the Oakland Home Chevrolet is running real good, and that's due to these guys that got behind me. You know, without them, we wouldn't be here.
All right, and this is the closest to the front of the field that Scott Hansen has been all year. He has a great shot, and he's currently running second in the rookie points. Now let's go to Amy East with a guy who's been at the front all season long.
You're exactly right, Dave. And Stacy Compton is our pole sitter after a 28th place finish at Pikes Peak, when all year he's consistently been in the top 5. Stacy, a very motivational meeting on Monday. What did Kevin Cram have to say to the team?
Well, he said it's time to get serious. We need to go out and try to get that points lead back. We wasn't that good in practice here, and they made some changes. And here we are in the front row. These guys have done a great job with this RC Dodge all year, and we need to win one. I mean, we need to get that point lead back. Best way to do it is to start up front, stay up front, and get a lot of points, get points for leading. And if we can do that, maybe we can get that points lead back and see if we can get us a win.
Well, look for Stacy Compton and the entire Impact team to charge its way to the front and stay up front, looking for yet its first victory of the season.
ESPN is live at I-70 Speedway, just east of Kansas City, for round number 8 of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Today, it's the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. Taking a look at the championship points chase after 7 of 25 rounds, Ron Hornaday is the man on top once again by 44 over Jack Sprague. Stacy Compton, who led after going into last week's race, is now third by 51 markers. Kevin Harvick and Andy Houston round out the top 5. The engines have just been fired. I'm Marty Reed, Benny Parsons alongside, and let's take a look at this layout here at I-70, a half mile, and it's treacherous.
It really is treacherous. You can see the banking, 28 degrees, so they drive in their corners awfully hard, and that therefore will come off the corners awfully hard. There is a problem off turn 2. You lose banking quickly. Some of the trucks had trouble losing the back end of the trucks as they exit turn 2. Then you come off to the turn 2 and go on the backstretch. Check that out. The backstretch is really not straight. There's a kink in the backstretch.
7 degrees of banking into that little kink right there, and they are flying 17 seconds a lap around this half-mile oval at Odessa, Missouri at I-70 Speedway. We'll set the starting grid and go racing when we come back. Round 8 of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on ESPN is today brought to you by Daytona USA, the official attraction of NASCAR. By Chevy S10, like a rock. And by Mopar, parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. That's the Mopar difference. Speaking of Mopar, let's take a look at our Mopar starting grid. On the point for the second time this year, it'll be Stacy Compton, another Dodge, right alongside his best qualifying effort, Jimmy Hensley. In row number 2, Ron Hornaday and Scott Hansen. That's the best qualifying effort for Scott. In row number 3, Randy Tolsma, Greg Biffle. Biffle had a crash in practice earlier this week. More on that in a moment. In row number 4, Jack Sprague. He's second in the points alongside Rick Crawford. In row number 5, last week's pole sitter Mike Bliss alongside David Starr, his best ever qualifying in the series.
Inside of row 6, Dennis Setzer on the outside, Kevin Zawinski. Back in row 7, Kevin Harvick and Jamie McMurray, his first ever race. Andy Houston in row 8, Mike Wallace on the outside. Jay Sauter on the inside of row 9, Tim Steele on the outside. And row 10, Mike Stefanik and Terry Cook.
So as we go on through the rest of the field, Lonnie Rush has moved over to the 27 truck. Randy Renfro filling in for Rick Corelli. Butch Miller was quickest in practice, but he finds himself all the way back in 26th starting position. On through the field, Andy Houston, his brother Marty also in this field. There's Randy Briggs and Tom Hubert. On boards quickly. We've got 2 of them today.
Here's Mike Wallace, the Team ASC onboard camera. There's a doggy camera. And also Andy Houston, the Cat Rental Store's onboard camera. We can watch the feet as he brakes, hits the accelerator, and shifts.
Coming out of turn number 4, we're about to hit the green flag. Compton got him slowed way down. Round 8 is green. Turn 4 at the end of lap number 1. Pole sitter Stacy Compton, Ron Hornaday right behind him, and a loose Jimmy Hensley in 3rd. Look at all the dust.
Racetrack right now seems to be very, very dirty. A lot of dust around. And Hornaday wants that lead going on the inside in turn 3.
Trying to tuck it underneath, gives him a little nudge, can't get it done. Lap number 2. They're going to fly by fast, folks. Compton still in front. Randy Tolsma's moved into 4th. 5th place right now is the 52 of Scott Hansen. And the new leader, as getting underneath Stacy Compton, Ron Hornaday is going to pick up those 5 bonus points.
That's what he's trying to get, 5 bonus points. We showed you Ron Hornaday, now the points leader, and he's trying to amass all the points that he possibly can. Jimmy Hensley looks on the inside of Stacy Compton. Can't quite make that pass.
Show you how fast these guys are flying. Hornaday may be coming up on slow traffic here in lap number 5. They're going to get back. The 23 of Bonifield is pulling into the pits. He's got a problem. So he quickly gets out of the way. Does not become a factor as these guys are hauling the bacon. Well over 112 miles an hour in qualifying. Right now, as a group, they're averaging about 108.
See Jack Sprague back there trying his best to get by the 52 truck of Scott Hansen. It'll land that chrome horn on the back tailgate. And we've got a crash up. And Ryan McGlynn is spun up in 1 and 2. And finally the caution flag does come out as McGlynn goes around.
So our first caution of the day for Ryan McGlynn. He also spun in qualifying yesterday.
Also, Tom Hubert in the 81 truck did not start the event. As a matter of fact, the truck would not start on the line. They pushed it behind the wall.
So McGlynn gets it refired and stays out. So it looks like he's going to be able to stay on the racetrack. But there is your race leader, Ron Hornaday. As we have completed now 7 laps of 200 here at Odessa.
Now the real question mark on the restart. Ron Hornaday is known for his restarts, but back in the field, other guys who are going to try to use a slower speed and a restart for an advantage to gain positions when the green flag is thrown.
You know, the short track wars are hard on everybody, but take a look at the guys who've been the most successful. Ron Hornaday and Mike Skinner, the former champion, 15 and 12 respectively. Jack Sprague, who's best known for his super speedway runs. Tony Raines, 2 of those wins came right here back to back at I-70. And Mike Bliss, he's the only driver in the field today to have won here. And right now Bliss is currently running in the 9th position.
So the signal being given to the field, green flag next time by. So we see these trucks weaving back and forth. Tire wear has been a problem on these trucks. 28 degrees, they drive down the corner very, very hard, and grinding that rubber off the tires has been a problem.
Dave Burns, you got an update on our race leader? Class
Last week, Ron Hornaday finished 6th, but he didn't run all that well at Pikes Peak. They could not turn the truck in the corners. Crew Chief Sandy Jones says that's the one lesson he learned last week, and now that he's leading, you can tell that they've worked hard to make that thing turn in the corners and be fast down the straightaway.
Pace truck is pulling off, and this capacity crowd, we just got the official word, it is a sellout here at I-70, and we're back to green flag racing. Side by side, that's Tolsma. Underneath him is Jimmy Hensley. That's 3 Dodges chasing that Chevy.
And Scott Hansen, another Chevrolet back there at Oakwood Home Chevrolet, currently running in 5th spot. Here comes Jimmy Hensley looking on the inside.
Down into 1, he's underneath the RC Cola Dodge of Stacy Compton. He's taking the position. So Compton's gone from the pole back to 3rd. And now he's under attack from his teammate, Randy Tolsma. Here comes Hensley.
For the lead. Richard Petty came here to watch this Dodge run today and watch it run. He is doing as he takes the lead on the backstretch.
So Jimmy Hensley becomes our 3rd leader of the day. Actually opened up about a truck length back to 3rd place. Stacy Compton. Hensley, who won earlier this year at Martinsville in what was a thrilling event for the Petty racing team. The next day, John Andretti brought the Winston Cup effort home in 1st place.
Jack Sprague, we see him going around Scott Hansen on the outside. And right now, Hornaday is under some heat by the 86 of Compton, and here comes Tolsma.
Yeah, and Hansen's lost another position right there, so maybe there might be something going on in the 52, but right now, the 16's got his hands full. Hornaday, as Compton has reeled him back in, Jimmy Hensley's trying to check out. Whoa, Compton a little loose coming off that banking.
Off turn 2, winning. That is a trouble spot here at Odessa. The track levels out, loses some of that banking, and you can see the back end on these trucks jump out as they exit turn 2.
Compton got a little high. Not able to get the job done, though. He holds on to the position.
He thought about trying to pass the 16 of Hornaday on the outside. That would probably not be a good deal.
But the second group will come in here as the day goes on. And we had a close call just a few moments ago. Let's go back and take a look at it.
Down in turn 1, there we see Butch Miller trying to get by the 26, Jamie McMarion, his very first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And McMarion, what a job he does to save that vehicle.
Oh, we've got a spin up in turn number 2. The 53 of Briggs has gone around.
And so far, no caution flag, and the truck is not moving, so the caution flag will be thrown to get the truck off the racetrack. Oh, it goes. He gets it going. So there will not be a caution flag as Randy Briggs takes a Little Tree Chevrolet back in the action.
Randy from Randleman, North Carolina. He's going to go a lap or 2 down, but that's okay. He's still out there, and no yellow. So we stay green, and there's your race leader. He's about ready to put Ryan McGlynn another lap down.
And right behind them, we see the 86 of Stacy Compton. He's on the inside of Hornaday, trying to take that spot away. Hornaday fighting back. And
Compton!
Compton! What a job he did. And that has been a trouble spot for him all afternoon in the first 19 laps. Stacy's had a problem getting off turn 2.
Tolsma took advantage of his teammates' misfortune, takes over the position. So Compton now back to 4th. Tolsma up to 3rd. They're banging on the 16. Hornaday, and where did Hensley go? He has checked out on this group. Take a look one more time at the 86.
Comes off the corner, and he has to jerk the steering wheel to keep him running in the 16 car. When he does, and it's about that time he loses the bank, and how he saved it is beyond me.
Are you ready for this? There's a 3-second margin between 1st and 2nd place already. That is incredible. Jimmy Hensley is on a rail. Can he keep it up? We'll find out. The King would love to see that happen here at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. Speedway, where Jimmy Hensley is out in front of our race here, round 8 of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And the Petty crew very happy with their performance. Unfortunately, Tim Steele is not happy. He hit the wall hard. In fact, almost launched the truck out over the retaining wall, Benny.
There we see Tim Steele's H&S Dye truck sitting up against the outside retaining wall. Still have not, the window net is not down. Usually they let the window net down on the driver's side to signify they are okay, but
there is the mark.
There's the mark, and you can see just how close Tim Steele came from up on the very top of the red. You'll see the right front tire was up there. He really got up in the air.
You know, he led an ASA race here not too far ago. He ended up being wrecked in that one by a lap car. He also led an all-pro race and lost the ignition box. So he has not had good fortune here at I-70 of recent. Unfortunately, it continued today. Here's what we have. You can see him scraping the wall. Look at that, how close he came.
That was the second time that he hit the wall. The first time, folks, trust me, he was really up there. But you see him scraping along the wall.
On board with Mike Wallace. Oh. Hard contact. Great to see Tim Steele is still in the truck.
You run awfully fast here at the I-70 Speedway. Average speed in qualifying yesterday was 114, almost 115 miles per hour. So
Ron Hornaday shown in 5th place last time around, but he has dropped back a little bit because he came into pit. Amy, you've got an update?
Crew Chief Sandy Jones decided that they needed right side tires bad. For some reason, the wear on the tires, I'm sure due to the track condition is what they were thinking here. Sandy decided to take right side tires and make a track bar adjustment so that Ron Hornaday can try to make up some time here if these other leaders decide to pit.
Tires are a major situation. In fact, NASCAR allotted an extra set. So we'll tell you more about how the tire allotment will be made by the teams. They have a choice that they can make here at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. More on that when we come back.
Let's see what Irwin does here on the last lap. He's going to be content to just stay where he is. Oh, a car turning it all sideways or got something happen up there. He slowed way down, and look at this. Bliss is on the outside of him. He's got a chance to win this race. He's going to make a race out of it. Then come down to the line. Oh, my goodness, they went through there side by side. I think Bliss won.
Well, that's just some of the action you're going to be able to catch tonight on USAC Thunder, the Coors Light Silver Bullet Series, Coca-Cola 100, 9:30 Eastern tonight on ESPN2, and then Wednesday at midnight on the Deuce, Stoops Freightliner Sprints, the Tyson 50, and the MCI WorldCom Midgets the night before the 500, next Saturday, 8:30 Eastern. That's all on the Deuce. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com. Looking at Mike Bliss circulating around the racetrack right now, and he is in 12th position. Let's get an update from Dave Burns.
Marty, look at Bliss's truck. More damage to the left rear. Does he need any more damage around that fuel fill? Right now, his problem is that he's loose in and loose off. Crew Chief Matt Chambers says that situation will not correct itself. We've got to put in a turn of wedge when he comes in and also add a pound to the right front tire. As for Scott Hansen, he was going straight back. You caught that, and he went straight back. They are tight in the middle of the corner. He can drive the truck in, but as soon as he does, it'll start to wash up, and that's not good here at I-70. That sent him toward the rear.
So now we know what the problem is for the 52. There's no problem for Jimmy Hensley. In fact, he didn't want to see this yellow. He's leading this race. Right behind him is Randy Tolsma. In fact, 3 Dodges up front. Stacy Compton is in 3rd. Jack Sprague is 4th. And Greg Biffle is in 5th. And there's what's left of the 21. They have gotten Tim Steele out of the truck. And he is being taken a look at.
Well, they took him out and put him on a stretcher and hurriedly took him to the ambulance. And I'm sure we'll be taking him somewhere locally to be checked. Well, I shouldn't say I'm sure, but anyway, he is in the ambulance and on a stretcher.
Jimmy Hensley, our current race leader, team owner, is someone we all know, and he is with Amy East.
It is always nice to see the Winston Cup support make it out to our truck races on a Saturday. So far, Jimmy's been so strong. He had over a 3-second lead there before that yellow. Does he have any comments on how great his truck's been so far?
Right now he says it's working okay. Deal was Hornaday was holding everybody up, and he got lucky. He got by him and got away, but it's going to be a little bit different race once they get started.
You have to be really excited so far with the combination of Fred Wenke and Jimmy Hensley as to their huge victory at Martinsville in front of the Virginia crowd. Hopefully another victory today for you.
Yeah, they've been going pretty good. They work together really, really good. Crew backs them up, and so far they've been doing. We had a couple of trouble with a couple of different races, but other than that, they've been running good. They'll be ready. Okay,
the King seems to have a lot of confidence in the 43 truck today.
He must know something. He's got a pretty big smile on his face, BP.
He sure does. Well, the way that truck's running, who wouldn't be smiling? All right, the lights are out atop the pace truck. We'll be seeing the green flag next time by.
At I-70 Speedway, winner's average starting position, 3.25. Farthest back to win was 7th. That was Mike Bliss just 3 years ago. Of course, Jimmy Hensley started on the outside of row number 1. Pace truck is in. Get ready.
And green flag.
I don't even need to tell you.
Go.
Hensley maintains the lead, gets a little high, but Tolsma can't tuck in underneath him. Doesn't look like those tires have cooled off at all as he is pulling out the lead again. Tolsma's going with him, though. Compton's falling back in 3rd.
And Dennis Setzer's on the inside of Greg Biffle. That's about it for the 5th spot.
Greg Biffle had a huge practice crash Wednesday up in Toledo. They were testing. Throttle stuck. He went head first into the wall, very similar to Rick Corelli's crash. We're on board with Andy Houston. He's very stiff in the neck, and he may have a fracture in his left arm. But Biffle is driving very well in practice and qualifying. And right now, though, he just gave up a spot to Dennis Setzer. So move Biffle back to 6th, Setzer up to 5th.
Now Kevin Harvick, the 98 Porter Cable truck, pulls up on the back bumper of Biffle.
Looks like Biffle and Harvick, they seem to like to run together. We had that happen quite a few races now. Take a look at the Napa Field summary. Points as of now. Stacy Compton would move back into the points lead if the race ended at this very moment. That's how tight the battle really is. That is Greg Biffle's radio.
He'll be running 18.3, 18 seconds, 0.300. Position 6. As Sprague in the 24 GMAC truck pulls up on Stacy Compton. And Compton is still fighting a very, very loose condition. Appears to be with that RC Cola Dodge.
They have fallen back a little bit in this battle for 3rd. They're 1.8 seconds behind the race lead, and boy, Sprague is trying to force the issue. Sprague thinks, and probably does right now, have the faster truck, but he's got to get around Stacy.
And right behind Dennis Setzer, and then a Mopar Dodge is closing, getting closer and closer to these 2 trucks.
In the top 10 right now, running 3 Chevys, 3 Fords, 4 Dodges. Dodge in 1999 has really come out with a serious effort, and it has shown big dividends for him. A Dodge sandwich right there, and Chevy's the meat, and Sprague doesn't like it. He wants to get around. Let's go back to the battle for 18th because Ron Hornaday is on the move. He's currently 19th. He's in front or right behind Randy Renfro. Renfro gets a little high. He gets underneath him. Let's tell you about Rick Corelli while we've got a chance, Benny. He did go home this week, not just transferred, but he is at home. Rick, we know you're watching. Get well soon, buddy.
Hope to see you back at the racetrack very soon as David Starr came off the corner, almost lost the back end, and that time Mike Wallace was on the outside of 3 deep in that 2 truck and said, whoa, wait a minute, as we see Ron Barfield in the 55 truck trying to get by Mike Wallace.
And that is Starr right in front of Mike Wallace. Starr's one of these young up-and-comers. He's got some talent. He's shown it in qualifying. They just don't have enough budget to be able to run the long races. They need a little more funding. You can see by the empty spot on their panel, and they are looking for a big-time sponsor. Let's get an update on Ron Hornaday from Amy East.
At that first yellow, Ron Hornaday, as we remember, was the only one that came down pit lane. We thought it was routine right side track bar adjustment. He came down pit road yet again. He thought they might have a fender rub. Turns out they didn't. Let's remember, he's got the freshest right side tires, and he's working his way back up through the field.
right now. He is back up to 16th position, and they're all chasing this guy, gentleman Jimmy Hensley. And he is out in front by over a second and a quarter here at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. What a difference a week makes. We're back at the I-70 Speedway. That is Mike Wallace that we're on board with, and the race leader, Jimmy Hensley's about to put him a lap down, Benny. He's in 22nd position, Mike Wallace is.
Yes, he is really struggling trying to get around the racetrack. He went down to turn 1 hard, trying to stay in that lead lap, and almost put Hensley up in the outside in the loose stuff. But Hensley wisely backed off. And now we see Mike Wallace and Jamie McMurray in the 26 truck are a lap down.
Well, Wallace was a lap down last week at Pikes Peak, came back to win it in that thrilling finish. And in the Winston West race, he was 2 laps down and came back to win last week.
1892, Jimmy.
Right now, Jimmy Hensley in front of the number 1 of Dennis Setzer by 2 seconds. Third place is now the 25 of Randy Tolsma, and the 86 of Stacy Compton is 4th. That's 4 Dodge. That's the first time this year that we've seen that, where Dodge has had all 4 top positions.
And we see Renfro, the 25 truck, has fallen back to Stacy Compton. And here we see the 24 trying to get alongside. Little contact between Sprague, the 24, and the 86 of Stacy Compton. And now the 25 of Tolsma has fallen back right in front of these guys. Now here comes Sprague on the inside.
The problem they're all having is that 46. That's Rob Morgan. He is lap traffic, and they've got to find their way around. And Sprague's going to get underneath, but that's going to put him right behind Rob Morgan. May not pay the dividend that he wants.
No, here goes the 86 by, as Rob Morgan does. He uses the Rob Morgan truck as a pick and takes that position back from Jack Sprague.
And right behind Sprague is the 50 of Greg Biffle.
And Andy Houston coming into the picture in the Cat Reynolds Chevrolet. He has caught this group back. He's currently in 7th position.
So this freight train continues to rumble around the half mile here. We've got 138 laps to go and 200.
Now here goes. Oh. Andy Houston closed that right on the back bumper of Morgan.
Clear, clear, clear.
Taking a look at our Circuit City telemetry, lower left-hand corner.
And you can see only 7,300 RPMs because now the tires are worn and they just cannot get back on the throttle and use all the engine horsepower they have.
Did you see Biffle waving that right? See there? Is that something waving? Is that his hand?
Well, because he's having to back off of these trucks in front of him. Right now, Mike Wallace and the 25 truck of Tolsma running side by side. So that leaves Biffle and the 86 truck with nowhere to go. Jack Sprague.
Boy, Mike Wallace has got a handful right now. He's trying as hard as he can. The word from the pits is that he is terrible loose. Whoa!
Whoa! And you see Mike Wallace, he just hit in the throttle about 100 yards of the straightaway. Now they're 3 wide as Biffle's on the inside of Sprague.
The Granger 4. There is Andy Houston. Don't turn away from your TV set. We have got these guys on top of each other all over the racetrack. While all this is going on, you keep an eye on this. The lead is 2.5 seconds. There's Kevin Sawinski going by.
Kevin Sawinski is in 8th position.
Nothing has changed up front. Jimmy Hensley's running. We're back where all the action is, and boy, do we have plenty of it.
And Jay Sauter is very slow off turn 2 as the leader goes by him. Puts Jay Sauter, the Goodrich truck, the lap down.
Jay became the 8th $1 million NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series winner last week, and he is coming into the pits. So Jay Sauter, under green flag conditions, you're going to lose some ground. He's trying to get it stopped.
I believe he's had a flat tire.
A lot of fuel spill out the...
I believe the right front tire is flat on that truck, and that's why he was so slow.
You may be right, BP.
First gear, 5100, go ahead.
Dave Burns, you got more?
Yes, Marty, I can see it. That right front is flat. Even with the interliners they're running here, they haul that thing over the wall. It has an extra 10 pounds per tire with the interliner. So Jay was not in any jeopardy of the tire going all the way down, but it's definitely flat.
So now we know what happened to Jay Sauter, and he has fallen well back. He's 2 laps down now in 26. And there is Gentleman Jimmy Hensley, trying to put Lance Norrick a lap down. Norrick in 17th position. The last truck on the lead lap. 70 laps are down out of 200, 130 to go, and Jimmy Hensley is the guy that everybody is trying to catch here at I-70 Speedway. Stay with us. We'll be back with a lot more racing after this. Back at I-70 Speedway, we have a new race leader. Dennis Setzer managed to get around Jimmy Hensley. You're wondering why? Well, we had a crash up in turn 3. Hensley had to take evasive action. Let's go down to pit lane, Dave Burns.
Here's the leader, Dennis Setzer. They're going to put right sides on. They weren't worried about qualifying 11. They were comfortable in their race setup. Now they'll give him right side tires and fuel. Let's go up to the pits, Amy East.
Jimmy Hensley, he was our leader. He's going to take on right side tires and hope that traction is okay as they make a couple of track bar adjustments. A little bit of a time stop here. The 43 is gone.
You're clear.
And look at how congested pit lane is. We talked about it. Look out, guys. The 52 could barely even get into his pit stall, and everybody, as Setzer has come back out onto the racetrack. Now we're under caution because of a crash up in turn number 3. Take a look and see what happened. The 14 and the 27 and Ryan McGlynn.
Rick Crawford in the 14 gets bumped by the 00 in the left rear. He goes around, spins around, and the 27 of Lonnie Rush goes up to try to dodge the 14 and just runs right in the outside retaining wall. There we see the leaders barely getting by Rick Crawford as he comes back down to the inside, and I think that's where the one truck of Dennis Setzer took the lead. One thing about it, though, we've only got 15 trucks that can hit the first time by. So.
And you can see way off back in the distance there as the crash occurred. Now there's the damage on Rick Crawford's Circle Bar RV and Motel Ford, and it's substantial on the front end there. They're still working on Lonnie Rush's number 27 as well. In fact, it looks like they're going to be pushing that one back behind the wall. So Rush apparently a victim this time as he got swept up in that crash. As Dennis Setzer is out in front here at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. Now, talk about a change in just 1 year. Compare 1998, where he ran 13 races, and Dennis had 1 top 5 and 5 top 10s. In 7 races this year, he's already doubled the top 5s, and he's just 1 shy of equaling his top 10 mark. And he has had several opportunities. He was running up front at Martinsville, was close to winning there before Jimmy Hensley took the win. And right now, he's on the point. While we're watching that, that is Tim Steele's truck. Now remember, he had a crash earlier in this event. Dave Burns, you've got more?
Marty, it's good news for Tim Steele, but he's going to be hurt for a little while. Fractured ribs and a possible broken leg. They are going to transfer him to the hospital as soon as possible, but the good news is that Tim survived that, and the truck is pretty beat up, but Tim's going to make it.
Boy, he has had a tough year. Remember, he missed 2 races with severe kidney stones. I mean, they had to do some surgery that just sounded awful, and he came back smiling and ready to race, and now he has this hard crash, so we'll wish the best to Tim Steele. Rick Crawford, and that's the damage you can see on the front end of the 14 truck, and they are working feverishly. Points are important. He came in 16th, and they had a good run last time out at Pikes Peak. He came home in 8th, and they thought they had turned the corner again, started making some momentum, but it not going to happen today. They're going to try and get it back out, though, to score as many as they can. Stay with us. Everybody's checking tires here at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. With Benny Parsons, Amy East, Dave Burns, I'm Marty Reed. This is round 8 of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We're under caution. Here is the top 15 as we take a look at our Napa Field summary at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. Dennis Setzer out in front of Jimmy Hensley. 4 different leaders so far as we are working lap number 80 in our 3rd caution of the day because of a crash up in turns 3 and 4 that has put Lonnie Rush behind the wall. In fact, they are still working on the 27. Take a look at position 16 through 30. We have 2 trucks that are already out of this race, Bonifield and Tim Steele, and we just gave you the update on Steele. And as you look on down through, Hubert is behind the wall and actually did not even take the green flag, and they're still working on it. There's Stacey Compton. Let's go down to pit lane. Who's up first? Amy?
Three trucks that had some interesting pit stops were the 86 of Stacy Compton, who was complaining of extremely loose condition, took on right side tires, made a couple of chassis adjustments. Seems to be pretty typical. When you move your way down pit road to the 25 of Randy Tolsma, he basically did the same. He needed to tighten up the truck and took on right sides. But the 50 of Greg Biffle, they took some rear tires that they used in practice on the fronts of their truck and put them onto the rear of the truck. So they're not stickers, they're actually tires that have a little bit of a lapse on them, but they think that what they learned in practice might pay off today. Randy Goss has got a lot of confidence in Greg Biffle.
All right, BP, why would you change 2 rear tires only?
I guess that Biffle is just having trouble getting grip off the corners, and they felt like that they needed the rear tires rather than more so than right side tires.
There.
Never see Rick Crawford trying to tell Ryan McGlynn, I didn't appreciate that bump going in turn 3.
That's for sure, and let's get more from pit lane. David?
Marty, on the 14 of Rick Crawford, they hammered out the left front. They got him back out there. They don't know how good the truck is going to be at this point. Kevin Harvick got caught in the pits when that caution flag came out. They were already changing right sides. He lost some time on the track that way. So as long as they were down, they came back in and they changed lefts as well. They have 4 fresh tires on the Porter Cable Ford.
And he is 3 laps down because of getting caught out by the yellow. We're back to green flag racing. Setzer in front of Jimmy Hensley. Lap trucks were on the inside. That included Barfield and Sauter. Sauter's going around Barfield right there. We got him 3 wide for a second.
Oh, and the 86 truck of Stacy Compton gets beaten and banged, and here comes Kevin Harvick trying to get to the inside.
Harvick's got a lot of work to do, being 3 laps down, and Jimmy Hensley has blown past Dennis Setzer. We got action all over the racetrack here at I-70. So Setzer's tour up front lasted all of 11 laps. Jimmy Hensley has now led his 61st tour of his half-mile layout. That's Jimmy Hensley's radio that we're listening to. You won't hear Jimmy talk a lot. You can hear the team telling him what's going on, but he's not a big talker outside of the truck, let alone inside.
And look at Dennis Setzer in that one, the Mopar Dodge, pull up right on the tailgate.
22.
Bob Jimmy Hensley going for the lead in turn 3.
Setzer's inside of him. Hensley holds his position. Good, clean, side-by-side race in between the 2 Dodges. Right behind him, Jay Sauter. He's on the move. He's trying to get back. One of those 2 laps that he's down. He's in 22nd spot.
Good job. Keep digging, man.
And that outside groove seems to be working pretty well here at the I-70 Speedway as Jimmy Hensley hanging tough.
It has definitely come in better than it started at the beginning of the race, and he maintains control of the lead. So Hensley still out in front of Dennis Setzer.
And I'm sorry, but that 3 truck sitting back there, Jay Sauter, he will have 4 fresh tires where the Dodgers only have been able to change right sides. Because he made that unscheduled stop on the green flag, had to change rights, came back in, changed lefts, and you can see just how important that 4 tires are to these trucks.
Let's get a tire update on Dennis Setzer. Dave Burns.
With all the concern we've had over tire wear, Howard Comstock, with a smile on his face and a gleam in his eyes, said our right tires that came off look perfect. Look out.
Well, right now, Sauter's trying to get up underneath the number 1, and he's going to do it. So Sauter trying to get one of those 2 laps back. Now we're listening to Jay's radio. You heard him say clear.
Now we see the 98 truck, another truck out there with 4 fresh tires. He gets by Dennis Setzer and sets his eyes on the 43 truck, the leader, Jimmy Hensley.
Harvick told me this morning, BP says, we are really going to be good on long runs. Well, he needs them badly now because he's 3 laps down. Here comes Sauter trying to get one of his 2 laps back.
Go ahead now, go ahead.
You heard him say, go, go, go. And Jay is going. Here comes Harvick. He's going to pick up one of his 3 laps.
Now here comes Dennis Setzer. We have the 2 leaders of the race, the 2 Dodgers now nose to tail.
Okay, Jimmy, it's 9 laps till halfway. They had the scoreboard wrong. 9 laps till halfway.
So we don't have to tell you how far it is to Gatorade money. That's what they're keeping track of. 9 laps to go there. $1,000 to the guy who's out front. Right now, that would be Jimmy Hensley. We'll find out when we come back from break here at I-70 Speedway in Odessa. Craftsman Truck Series, round 8. Tomorrow, Busch champion Dale Earnhardt Jr. will try and repeat as the first Union 200 champion from Nazareth. And you can see it all, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on ESPN. That's tomorrow from Nazareth, right here on ESPN, the NASCAR Busch Series, the first Union 200. Don't forget, you can log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. When we left you, Dennis Setzer was in front. Guess who's out in front now? Actually, it was Jimmy Hensley who was in front. Now it's Dennis Setzer, I should say. Let's show you what happened.
Up in turns 3 and 4. See Hensley come off the corner. And I'm sorry, this is off turn 2. And Dennis Setzer, the one truck, goes to the inside and takes the lead.
And guess who they have put a lap down? The 16 of Ron Hornaday. So Hornaday's woes at this racetrack continue. He has never won here. Of course, neither is his arch rival, Jack Sprague. One of about 5 tracks that those guys have not won on. But he is a lap down now in 13th.
And he has got some heavy traffic as we see Harvick up there trying to get through this traffic to stay, get one of those laps back. He's now 3 down. Stefanik on the outside trying to stay in front of the leader.
Let's take a look at our Dodge race recap as Dennis Setzer has led 20 of the 103 laps. We've had 5 lead changes, 3 cautions. The record is 11. Our average speed is well under the record. We're at 73.2 miles an hour. And look at this, 3 wide. Harvick outside and goes around the 99 and the 3.
And once again, Jay Sauter had passed the leaders, and now he's once again off the pace. As we see Mike Bliss, the Exide truck, right in front of Dennis Setzer.
That is 11th spot for Mike Bliss. He is the last truck on the lead lap right now. Sauter is back into pit lane. We'll keep you posted on that while you're watching this battle out on the racetrack. In fact, we've got a yellow out. So this is going to really hurt Jay Sauter.
Caution flag is out, and here comes Bliss trying to get that lap back. Oh!
Hang on to it, Mike. You're in the dirt. Hang on to it. You're okay.
Hang on to it. Hang it to it.
Easy for the spotter to say.
Exactly.
Good job, Bliss. You saved it. He tried all he could, but Setzer has got him a lap down right now. So we have 10 trucks on the lead lap, our 4th caution of the day here on lap 107. Setzer has the Gatorade money in his pocket. That's $1,000 for leading at the halfway mark. Take a look at this battle to the caution flag, BP.
Bliss trying his best to get that lap back. Trying to get on the inside. Caution is coming out. Here comes Bliss sideways. Watch it. Oh, almost ran into the inside wall twice.
And luckily, he could have easily slid up into Setzer right there with all the dirt that was on his tires down on the infield portion of the track there.
And the bad news is he did not get his lap back. Mike Bliss, I'm talking about. NASCAR officials have now put him behind Dennis Setzer.
And the worst part about it is he cooked the tires pretty good trying to do it.
And now these trucks will once again head for pit road to change tires. Now the question is, right sides have been wearing out. Do they change lefts or do they change rights? Wonder what they're going to do.
The Roush Racing Killer Bees, well, one of them's had a better sting than the other after 7 of 25 races. Greg Biffle picked up the win back at Memphis as 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, but Mike Bliss has actually led only 1 lap this year, and he sat on the pole twice, but he just has not been able to find victory lane yet. Here they come down pit lane.
And right now only 10 trucks on the lead lap, so we'll not have a lot of traffic on pit road.
Let's go to Dave Burns.
Dennis Setzer is in the leader. They will go to the left side. Howie Frazier on the front, Keith O'Toole on the rear. They're going to make no adjustments and add fuel. Meanwhile, Kevin Sawinski will make the same on his truck. Amy East.
Jimmy Hensley, Fred Wanke wants Jimmy to have some fresh left rear rubber and a little bit of gas. That's all they're going to do to the 43 truck. They want to win it with the King Bean here today.
And right now, Jimmy Hensley having all kinds of trouble, I guess, on that left rear as trucks are going by. He's losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's all the way back to 6th position.
Greg Biffle also came in, changed right side tires. But Jimmy Hensley, you're right, BP. Long pit stop could really be costly here.
And Biffle is having trouble getting up to speed. I don't know exactly. Now it looks like he's back up to speed.
Yeah, the Granger Ford has fired, and he's back underway. There is Mike Bliss. They're making a chassis adjustment. Dave, you're there?
They're going to go to the left side and make that chassis adjustment, Marty. They've still got the damage back there near the fuel fill, but it's not a problem for him right now. Bliss gets the left side tires, and he's out.
You see Ron Hornaday there in the 16, right at the lead pack of that line. Scott Hansen right behind him. They are also a lap down. Jay Sauter is down.
Every time Jay Sauter has a flat tire, it seems like 2 laps later, the caution flag comes out. Right now, Sauter is 3 laps down because of his flat tires today.
So it's just been a dismal day for that guy in the Goodwrench Chevrolet. Jay Sauter worked hard to get back one of those laps and then gets right back into the mess. Now here's the pit summary. Setzer goes in first, out in second. Look at Hensley though, in and then out in 7th. That's going to be a lot of track position, and it's hard to make that up. But Jimmy's had a good truck. Amy?
Benny, you are exactly right. At the last minute, Fred Wenke told his left rear tire changer, let's pull out one of the spring rubbers. This is exactly what he was talking about. This little handle here is for the tire changer to pull it out. It got hung up, a little bit slower stop than what they had anticipated.
Sometimes the technology, no matter how simple you make it, doesn't work.
Well, that's why they want the vehicles, the trucks, cars, whatever, to be as close to perfect as you can, because when you start making those type of adjustments, it takes too much time, you lose time, and you lose track position. And at this racetrack, folks, as you can see, that track position is very critical.
But the one thing we did notice about Hensley, he was able to race in that second groove. Jay Sauter is now 3 laps down in 23rd position. Dave, give us an update on what's happened to the number 3.
Well, there have been so many concerns with holes in the tires and wear on the tires. Jay Sauter can't buy a brake. Look at this. Valve stem broken off. Here's the inner liner valve stem. That's fine. This is for the tire. Broken straight off. But guess what? The other right front looks exactly like this. It bit him twice today.
And what's happened is you make contact with other cars. It's almost impossible not to do some rubbing here. And when you do, you knock off that valve stem, as Dave pointed out. Flat tire, into the pit you go.
There is his 1999 season recap for Jay. You can see, no offense here, Dave, we can tell how hot it is for you, Amy, and everybody. Can you imagine what it's like in the trucks? Temperatures in the low 80s here, and the humidity is very high. And it's been a very hot, sticky day. In fact, that's affecting the tire wear and the racetrack. Officials taking a look at one of the corners right now, and that's why we are still under yellow. But I think maybe this time by, yes, we're going to be going green soon. So let's get in a commercial break. We'll come back as we're in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Just back to green flag racing at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. Randy Renfro stayed out during that last round of pit stops. He is our current race leader, our 5th different leader of the day. And there is Ron Hornaday coming up behind him. Now Hornaday is back in the pack here. He is 1 lap down in 11th, so he is trying to get back on the lead lap.
And he has made it. He's getting by Renfro, the Remax truck. He is on the lead lap, but the 3rd truck back, here comes the 1 of Dennis Setzer. He gets by Brian Refner in the 7th truck. Now he's going to go up and battle the 6, Renfro, for the lead. Meanwhile, heavy traffic back in the back as we see the Kevin Harvick, Mike Wallace.
There's Jimmy Hensley in the 43. He's in that box as well. Hensley in 7th. On board with Mike Wallace. Whoa, that wall gets awfully close. Wallace is only 1 lap down at this stage, 14th position.
And Kevin Harvick trying to get on the inside, Mike Wallace. There we see the 7 car, Brian Refner, trying to get by the 2nd place car. And, I'm sorry, the 3rd place car, 4th place car. Now, there goes the leader. There's Setzer. He's on the inside of Ron Hornaday, trying to put him that lap back. And looks like he will do it.
Our Napa field summary, the points battle right now in the Manufacturers Championship. Our field summary, the best running Ford is 6th with Kevin Sawinski. Well, that's been the surprise team all season long. For Chevy, Jack Sprague is the best up front, 2nd.
See Jack Sprague there trying to go the inside, and does to the inside of Ron Hornaday.
Well, we sort of should have expected to see poor Randy Renfro going back. He did not stop to take on tires. Everybody else has got at least 2 fresh ones, and he's moving backwards rapidly. He's down to 10th.
75 truck, Marty Houston, and his brother driving the 75 Spears truck.
There is Renfro. Last week had a great run going. until the very end when a mechanical problem put the team behind the wall. Everybody was pumped about his job of coming in and replacing Rick Corelli. Remax Chevrolet. 77 laps to go. There's Greg Biffle and Mike Wallace. Jimmy Hensley in that mix as well. Also the 31 of Kevin Sawinski for 5th, 6th, and 7th. There is Stefanik in 8th. He's gotten around Hensley, in fact, for 7th.
Yes, great run for Stefanik. Saw Dale Phelan earlier today, and he said this is Mike Stefanik's kind of racetrack. He ought to do well today, and he is. As we see Jimmy Hensley going by Mike Wallace. And Hensley's all the way back to 8th position now in the Dodge by Petty.
There's Randy Tolsma going around Mike Wallace. Tolsma currently running in 9th. And David Starr in the 73. He is 1 lap down in 15th. Wallace has got a problem.
He just can't hold the racetrack. Watch him as he gets, listen. About there, he nails the gas, and here he backs off. He can only use the accelerator about 150 yards on that backstretch.
Meanwhile, we move back to the battle for 5th. That's Kevin Sawinski. He owns the position. Greg Biffle is right behind him, closing quickly.
And also the 66 of Stefanik right on the back bumper of Biffle.
Let's get an update on the 31, Dave Burns.
Running with Sawinski running up in 5th. He's picked up 7 positions overall on the track. They've also picked up 2 of those in the pits. He's taken on both right and left side tires. So they're pretty confident now with Kevin, who has dominated here in an ASA car in the past. He led 273 of 300 laps one year and then got booted out of the way at the end. So Kevin knows how to run the fast line here. I did want to tell you also on Mike Wallace, the initial thing that put him laps down was a flat right rear tire, last week's winner.
Yeah, you mentioned Sawinski has 2 top 3s here in ASA competition. He was 2nd in an Artco Remax, what is now known as the Remax Challenge Series. So he knows this racetrack and he's taking advantage of that experience. There's the battle for the race lead. Here comes Jack Sprague, still not over last week's disappointment.
Rush last week, a lap ahead with 10 laps to go, and could not pull it off. And looks like this time he has a very fast truck. Last time by, he was 1 mile per hour faster than the leader, Dennis Setzer.
Can you believe that? They put the 6 truck of Randy Renfro a lap down, and here comes Sprague on the outside, and he has taken the race lead. So that will be our 6th leader. Sprague, a man on the mission.
He made that look so easy.
Absolutely said, made it point blank clear. He hates that green-white checker that the Craftsman Truck Series has instituted since its beginning 4 times. He says, I've lost races because of green-white checker. I said, have you ever won one? He goes, yeah, last year at Las Vegas. That's the one he lost the championship by 3 points because Hornaday was right behind him.
There we see him.
He is pulling away.
Yes, he is.
Now, we talked about the fact that Hornaday and Sprague have not won here. Well, take a look. There's 5 tracks that they have not won at: Homestead, Martinsville, I-70, Texas, and St. Louis over at Gateway. But look at the results of the 2 we've run so far. When Hornaday's done well at Homestead, Sprague was awful. And at Martinsville, the roles were reversed. And right now, Jack Sprague's in 1st. Ron Hornaday is in 12th. Idea of the margin from 1st to 2nd. It's 7/10 of a second. If the race ended right now, your new points leader would be Jack Sprague by 4 over Ron Hornaday. Take a look at the Napa Field summary. Stacy Compton would remain in 3rd. Andy Houston would move up to 4th.
Kevin Harvick and Greg Biffle with break positions.
And BP, while we're watching all this, all of a sudden a quick left-hand turn by the 6 of Randy Renfro into pit lane. And he is in the back pit area, so they are coming in under green. They obviously have a problem.
And here we see the leaders caught in some heavy traffic. Rob Morgan at 46 and Mike Wallace trying to put Wallace a lap down. He goes up. Mike Wallace will go another lap down. That makes 2.
16th position for Wallace. That's exactly where he started the race. And you're right, BP. He is going to be 2 laps down this time by. Rob Morgan in the 46. He is 4 laps down. So So right now, the man out front is Jack Sprague, our 6th different leader at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. Can he hold on? We'll find out. Jack Sprague, how many times has he won on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Tour? 13. Most of them on super speedways, 4 of them on the short tracks. Could number 5 be today? Well, we're going to find out, because Sprague is in front by 1.2 seconds, and he has just put Randy Renfro another lap down. That's 3 laps down for the number 6 truck. Sprague trying to redeem himself. He says, man, I can't believe I finished 2nd 3 times this year. We can't seem to get the victory. They did everything right last week, Benny, and still ended up losing the race.
Yeah, they did everything right. 10 laps to go, but under NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, that green-white checker caution flag came out right near the end of the race, and Mike Wallace had a lot fresher tires than Jack Sprague did. He got the victory. Sprague was 2nd place.
Sprague does not want to be denied, getting ready to put Harvick a lap down.
Get another lap down for Harvick.
Yeah, that puts him 3 down now. He's in 16th position. So it doesn't look like today's going to be Kevin Harvick's day to pick up his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series win. Harvick had 2 seconds and a 3rd in our last 3 races.
And right in front of the leader is going to be Greg Biffle, the 25 of Randy Tolsma.
Yeah, that's 9th and 8th. Those are the last 2 trucks on the lead lap. Right now, I'm getting a little deja vu from last week. I don't know about you, BP. I know you were watching it at home, but this is the way he cut through the field, and strategy gave him that big lead, and right now he's doing it again.
And Mike Wallace goes another lap down as David Starr goes by. That moves David Starr. Well, he's right now running 11th position, and Mike is really struggling. There goes Dennis Setzer by.
Not able to keep tires on the ASE Ford. Look at Biffle under attack now. This is 9th place, Greg Biffle is. He's the last truck on the lead lap, and Sprague's got him in his gun sights.
Yes, he does. Comes off the corner.
Inside, looking inside. You're clear, you're clear. Inside, inside.
That's Max Jones inside. Talking to Biffle.
18 inside. Inside, inside. Line 18.
That's the interval from 1st to 2nd. Setzer being in 2nd place by 1.2 seconds. He's got his hands full with Lance Norrick. Norrick, he's getting ready to go by Biffle.
And Mike Wallace makes a pit stop. Changing those foreign tires as we see Biffle.
Look at the margin on the lead. Max trying to tell Biffle to stay with the leaders if you can.
Those guys will help us out. We can't get to Jason.
But I think Biffle's trying to do all he can, but he just doesn't have enough tire.
He just doesn't have enough tire. We see the caution flag is going to come out. And the caution flag, the leaders do take the caution flag. And now Biffle will be a lap down.
So Jack Sprague, our race leader, by 1.79 seconds is going to see that lead evaporate. 3rd place is Andy Houston. Mike Stefanik has moved into 4th. Best run since the beginning of the year at Homestead for Stefanik. And in 5th place, it's Stacy Compton. So there is your top 5 right now. And here comes Jack Sprague. And we've got debris on the racetrack. This is our 5th caution of the day. Comes out now. Here we are working lap number 157. Pit lane closed. That's what that signal means from Danielle Rigg.
Now it's a race off pit road because all these trucks will be pitting. They'll be making pit stops. And it's a race to see who's going to be the fastest truck. Whose crew is going to be the fastest.
Who's going to have the best tires also for this last 44 laps that we're going to be racing. That will be the biggest factor because we could see it go green from this point forward. We have 8 trucks on the lead lap. We've had a total of 6 different leaders. Jimmy Hensley has led the most laps, 72. And right now, Jack Sprague is working on his 26th lap in the lead. Pit lane is open, and here we go. So let's take a look at Sprague on the top, Setzer in the middle, and then Andy Houston on the bottom. Let's go to Dave Burns.
Andy Houston's going to come in. They're going to change right side tires, and they're going to take an extra tire carrier over the wall. They can do that because they're not putting fuel in. How good a strategy is that? So good. That's exactly what they're doing in the 1 pit of Dennis Setzer. No adjustments. Amy.
Jack Sprague wants fresh right rear tires and a lot of traction as he he goes back out there with a fast pit stop.
Andy Houston, the last one, he is still working his way onto that pit stop. Here comes the clock, and it's 11.4 as he pulls out finally.
But the leaders, Setzer and Jack Sprague, were so far ahead of the third place truck of Houston. You can see they're back on the racetrack on the backstretch. Before Houston comes off pit road, he will come off in third place. Jimmy Hensley will come off in fourth.
And it looks like fifth place will be Stacy Compton. Sixth will be Sawinski. So stay with us. We're heading towards the checkered flag at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200.
Buckle.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, well, in 2 weeks, we're going to move on to Bristol, Tennessee. Yes, we're going to race under the lights, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Saturday, June 5th for the Coca-Cola Family 200. We'll move over to ESPN2 for that one, 9:30 Eastern, Saturday, 2 weeks from today. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network. Go.com. And boy, I'm paying BPI. I'm looking forward to that one. I always love running to Bristol. There is our race leader, Jack Sprague. He has been here so many times. In fact, last week we've documented it for you. He was up by a full lap with 10 laps to go, and then 2 successive cautions made it a green-white checkered shootout. Jimmy Hensley just pitted again, and that is going to move him back in the serial. But and they only made an adjustment. They could not change tires because we're under yellow. You can only change 2, but they made a chassis adjustment, BP.
Yes, a serious chassis adjustment. Looks like they put about 4 rounds of wedge in the right rear, went around to the left rear, and put a couple of rounds more. So a serious chassis. And Jimmy and Greg Biffle in the 50, the Granger truck, we saw him being lapped. Well, NASCAR threw this caution flag because of turn 4 and the rocks. They wanted a chance to sweep that turn 4 to give these guys a chance to race these last 40 laps. Well, Biffle was the truck just lapped when the caution flag came up. NASCAR just gave him his lap back.
Well, as of right now, they are showing him in 9th position. Let's get an update on the 43 of Jimmy Hensley. Amy?
I just got done talking to crew chief Fred Wanke. I said, why did you guys stop? He said, we're so loose. We really needed to add a little bit more bite. And even with just 8 trucks on the lead lap, they were not concerned about losing track position. So more bite for a very bad loose condition on the 43 truck.
And that smile is gone from Richard Petty's face because he knows he's lost track position now. And we are working lap number 153 of 200. So Jimmy's going to have to pull out some magic. Another one of the trucks that's doing very well today, Kevin Sawinski in the Auto Trim Design Ford. At the beginning of the year, we would have been surprised, but not anymore. How about it, Dave Burns?
That's right, and if he can get brakes, he may do well this year. Here's what he had right here. He needed this brake. This is tire wear on the right front of Kevin Sawinski. We're going to ask Bob Breback, his car owner. Bob, how close was this? How bad did Kevin need those rights?
Well, we were in trouble going a lap down because he knew the right front was gone. He was nursing it along, and that yellow came out pretty fortunately, saved from going down. And we should be in good shape. We had about 80 laps on this, and we only got about 35 to go, so we're in good shape now.
Okay, and most of the teams are saying, guys, that they will not need lefts again. But if a late caution comes out and they have a chance to put on those right, let's watch and see who plays follow the leader.
In the top 10 right now, Chevy has 2, including our race leader, Jack Sprague. Ford has 4 trucks, and Dodge has 4. So the manufacturers are well represented. In fact, this is one track where all 3 manufacturers have won. That's Dennis Conner. He's the crew chief on the race leader here at the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. Back to green flag racing. Jay Sauter going to try underneath. The race leader's the 24 of Jack Sprague. All the other trucks in that gaggle right there, the 3, the 55, the 88, they're all at least 1 lap down. Let's quickly update you on Greg Biffle. He is in front of Sprague, but NASCAR officials said, no, we have to look at that again. He did not get his lap back. He is 1 lap down in 9th position, but now has managed to get back on the lead lap if another yellow came out. Side by side with Mike Wallace. He has had a tough day. He's 4 laps down in 20th position. There's 31 of Sawinski. There is Wallace. Here comes the race lead. And in fact, the leaders have already gone by him. And here comes the 25, the 31. Take a look at the Napa field summary. Points as of now. Jack Sprague would be your leader. That's Randy Tolsma right behind Mike Wallace.
Tolsma Speedway is in the 5th position. Kevin Zawinski, the 31, right behind him. The 86 car, Stacy Compton, is in 4th.
The lead is a half a second.
Oh, and the 75 car spun at the start-finish line.
Marty Houston spun it, but kept it off the wall. We may stay green here.
We do stay green. Tough break for Greg Biffle because he is right in front of the leader. He was hoping that caution flag would wave because Jack Sprague is closing as we see Marty Houston back under control.
So Marty, who qualified 15th, the 31-year-old older brother of Andy Houston, did a nice job of saving it. Keeps the Spears Chevy out on the racetrack and has really created a problem for Greg Biffle. Take a look at what happened.
Never see him spinning down to the inside. All the cars, trucks are able to get by.
While you're looking at Marty right there, he is in front of that group right there, and that's why the yellow was so costly for Greg Biffle, because he just went a lap down.
And here comes Dennis Setzer. There's no, he couldn't quite get there in time. Sprague went up the hill. I thought Setzer was going to drive in there. Dennis Setzer, this one Mopar Dodge, has been fast all evening.
Setzer right on Sprague's back bumper. Looked like some debris, maybe some rubber coming off. Setzer is on him, giving him a little nudge, saying, I'm back here, Jack. Uh-oh, Houston's into the wall this time. Something let go. Looked like maybe one of the tires.
And Greg Biffle spins up in turns 2 and 3. Biffle does a...
Don't roast them too much. Not too much, Greg.
Team talking to him. The yellow is out. That will be our 6th caution of the day. Oh, we got fire in the Spears Chevy. Cruz quickly getting on the scene. Marty Houston is not out of that race truck yet. There, I see him moving. And he is quickly vacating.
Yeah, come on, guys, up front.
Yeah, I'm okay. Get the fire out. Here we go. So this will take a little bit of time to clean up. It's good to know that Marty is okay. And I have a sneaky feeling that one of those tires on the right side ran over something, cut, and that's what sent him into the wall. Remember, he had to spin, probably flat spotted an area. Yeah, he's shrugging his shoulders, saying, I don't know what to do now. It's a long walk back.
Pit road is open, and some cars, trucks decided not to pit. That's unbelievable. They haven't stopped. Some of those trucks, there come Randy Tolles, man. He's back in 5th spot. He's going to make a pit stop. Here comes Stefanik. He was back in 7th spot.
Absolutely. Get a fresh set of left sides to match those rights, Ben.
Good move by those guys. You ever see Tolesman coming down pit road? And Stefanik sitting back there changing left sides. They go to work on the left side of Tolesman's vehicle.
I mean, there are only 8 trucks on the lead lap. In fact, Stefanik is that last truck, so he absolutely loses no position. And boy, what a smart move, I would think, for both Randy Tolesma and Mike Stefanik. By the way, we should wish Stefanik a happy birthday. His birthday was on the 20th. Let's take a look. We'll show you why we went under yellow.
You ever see the flat tire on the right front tire goes flat on the 75 truck of Marty Houston, the Spears truck, and bam! Inside, it goes to the outside wall. And ever see Greg Biffle? I guess he was trying to race the leaders back. My guess is he was trying to race the leaders back, stood on the accelerator trying to catch them, and spun.
Let's go on board with Andy Houston, and we'll show you what happened. And at that point, oh, look at Biffle. Whoa!
Wow, that was close.
1 minute, Andy's saying, oh, my big brother's in trouble, and the next second, oh, it's me that's in trouble.
Now we see a lot of trucks did make pit stops. Randy Renfro, Jay Sauter, Greg Biffle, they finally made a pit stop, and they go back on the racetrack.
But that's all trucks that were at least 1 lap down, BP. I am still amazed that none of the race leaders, except for the 25 and the 66, took advantage to get fresh lefts. We're going to find out how much of a dividend that pays for those 2 trucks. Could it be the difference again? We'll find out when we come back to I-70 Speedway.
X Games version 5.
Back here, our version of extreme sport. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, round number 8. Jack Sprague is our race leader. And I'm wondering what Dennis Conner is thinking after last week. His man's out in front again, Amy East.
Well, Dennis has a lot of confidence in his strategy today and his driver. Well, you guys have to make another stop before the race is over for any fresh rubber.
Not unless we have a flat tire. We're good to go. We've got pretty good tire wear all day long, considering what we thought the deal was going to be. And Team GMAC and Jack worked really hard to get the thing up front. And the one truck is really good, and we're probably equal trucks. And it'll probably be a shootout like these truck races generally are, and how it'll end up, who knows. I hope he doesn't have a flat and we don't have a flat.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much.
And Dave Burns is standing by with Howard Comstock. Dave?
That's right. He calls the shots for Dennis Setzer. And your tires on the left side have almost 80 laps on them. Can they hold? And are you counting on traffic to hold the other guys back who did pit?
Well, we put right sides on. We looked at our notes, and we've only been on our rights for about 10 laps. So I think we're good. The left sides that we took off halfway were really, really good. Goodyear's brought us a great tire.
And what about the traffic? Do you count on them really holding back the guys that were able to come in and get fresh lefts?
As we get down to fewer and fewer laps, that's going to be an issue. So we like where we are right now. I say it's up to Hart right now. It's who wants it the worst.
All right, and guys, what about it? Jack Sprague after last week or Dennis Setzer? No wins yet this year.
Well, Setzer does have his one career victory from Mesa Marin, and I'm sure he'd like to make it number 2. He was close at Martinsville. And take a look at Mike Stefanik. Now, right now, one of the 2 guys that managed to come in during that last caution put on left sides, and Stefanik leading the USG Rookie of the Year by 11 coming into this race over Scott Hansen. And where is Hansen? Well, he's in 11th position, 2 spots down. And this would be the best run for Stefanik since, well, the season opener when he finished 2nd back at Homestead. And they have been working long and hard on the chassis, BP.
You see these guys on the inside. In NASCAR rules, 25 laps to go. Only the cars on the lead lap can go to the outside. Green flag, 16 laps to go.
And Sprague gets a great jump over Setzer. Pulls out about 4, 5 truck lengths. Sprague saying, we ain't gonna do this song and dance again. He is not going to have a repeat as we're on board with Andy Houston, who's in 3rd. That's Houston's radio. Houston 4th last week at Pikes Peak. His best was a 3rd at Phoenix. Circuit City telemetry in the lower left. Breathe a little bit there. Meanwhile, Setzer has reeled back in a little bit. It's about half-second margin between 1st and 2nd place.
He gained 0.15 of a second that time by. Talking about Dennis Setzer. You can see he's getting closer and closer.
They've pulled away from Houston. In 4th spot, it's Stacy Compton. Look at this. There is Randy Tolsma, and here comes the 66 around Sawinski. Guess what? Those are the 2 trucks, the 25 and the 66, with fresh lefts.
They move into 6th and 7th now, but do they have time to catch those trucks in front? And that time by, Dennis Setzer did not get any closer to Jack Sprague. He's still 46/100ths. And now we see Stefanik trying to get closer to the 25. Got in the corner a little bit too hard.
The last lap, our race leader was at 110 miles an hour. The 25 in traffic was at 109.
Dennis Setzer that time almost a 1/800th of a second closer to Jack Sprague. He's inching up with 10 laps to go.
Look at this battle, the 86 and the 43. Compton for 4th. Hensley wants it. Right behind him, here comes Tolsma.
1791 and 25 coming hard. Runner hard, Jimmy. Runner hard.
Here we go.
Napa Field summary in the upper left. 9 laps to go. Sprague looking for his first win. If you would have heard me say that we'd be round 8, that I'd be saying Sprague looking for his first win, would you have believed it?
Never would have believed it right now. And there's no guarantee he's going to get that first victory because Dennis Setzer is right there. And both these drivers very, very hungry for that first victory. As Howard Comstock said, who wants it? They both want it. 7 laps to go. Jack Sprague has 3 runner-up finishes in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He's sick of kissing his sister, so to speak. He wants the win. Here we go back to the battle for 4th, side by side. Tolsma alongside of Hensley. Stefanik may follow him right on through. He's going to try to follow him through. 3 Dodges, 1 Ford in this mix. Here comes Stefanik underneath Hensley. Remember, the 25 and the 66 have fresher left side tires. It's paying dividends. 5 laps to go. And right now, the one truck of Dennis Setzer started to lose ground on Jack Sprague as we watch this battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. This is the tightest battle. We can tell you it's a half a second lead. There it is, the margin. Jack Sprague with 4 to go. It's Sprague, Setzer, then Andy Houston, the 86 of Compton, and Tolsma. That's your top 5. That's Ryan McGlynn, the 00, going another lap down. He gets out of the way for both race leaders to come through. 25 and 86, they're teammates, and they're bumping on each other. Take a look. Tolsma wants to get around Compton. Stefanik is glued to Tolsma's bumper. There we see Tolsma. He's got to move. He's already spins right in front of Stefanik into the wall. Stefanik runs into him. Here's trucks going by. And guess what, folks? We're going to have another green, white checker. And I would imagine that Jack Sprague and Dennis Conner are going crazy. Look at the damage on the 25 of Randy Tolsma. He had a great run going. Look at that base. He knows what he's got to do again. We'll find out who wins when we come back. We are working our 7th caution of the day, and we are going to have a green-white checkered situation. And this is the reason that we are under yellow. Randy Tolsma into the wall in turn 4. Take another look at it. He comes down. He's trying to get by his teammate. The left side goes down, hits the apron of the racetrack. He de-wedges the truck. Around he goes. It backs her in the fence, and I don't believe Stefanik made any contact as we have green flag. So we got a 2-lap shootout for the 5th time in Jack Sprague's career. 6th, actually. He's won 1 of them, lost 4, including last week. I guarantee you he is not going to let anybody go by without a fight. This time by, white flag. 1 lap to go for Jack Sprague. Dennis Setzer right behind him. For one of them, it's going to be victory number 1 of 1999. Through the back straightaway, Setzer trying to close. Does he have enough track? I don't think so. Through turns 3 and 4. Jack Sprague going to pick up victory number 1 after 3 second-place runs. Setzer 2nd. Andy Houston 3rd. Stacy Compton 4th. Jimmy Hensley in 5th. And look at this team from the depths of depression last week after a heartbreak defeat. They come back to climb the mountaintop and win the O'Reilly Auto Parts 200. Jack Sprague, his win here at I-70, his 105th NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Amy, you've got Dennis Conner.
I saw you sink in your chair. You caught the break. You did it. Congratulations, Dennis. What a long day for you.
It's been a long year. We've lost a lot of these things on the green-white checkered. I just told Jack, somewhere along the line, there had to be some poetic justice for Team GMAC on the green-white checkered. The crew did an awesome job preparing the truck. We had great pit stops. It's just a good race.
Dennis, breathe and smile, buddy. You did it. Back upstairs.
Thank you.
Well, for Jack Sprague, his 14th career win, his 5th on a short track, and we'll talk to him in victory lane when we come back to I-70 Speedway.
Finally, Jack Sprague in victory lane in 1999. And last week says he does a dive into the mosh pit of the GMAC team. And they are happy to collect him up, Jack. I didn't even want to ask you a question. I just want you to start talking after last week. How does it feel to beat these guys here at I-70?
Well, the first thing I want to do is say hello to my daughter Paige and my wife Rhonda and my mom back at the house. And man, I'll tell you what, I never dreamed we'd win at I-70. And after last week, the disappointment and everything we went through, the team did a great job today, adjusted on the truck. We weren't perfect when it started, and you know, we were a little bit loose, and they adjusted on it, and I tell you what, they did a great job.
How about tires today? Everyone else seemed to be a little trouble. You guys seemed good all day on them.
Well,
you haven't seen them, have you? You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but tires stayed with us pretty good, and you know, it's just tribute to the team. They did a great job with the setup, and they tuned on it during the pit stops and kept getting better and better. I was actually a little tight at the end and a little concerned, but they did a great job. Like I said, I'd like to thank GMAC Chevrolet and Quaker State and AC Delco and everybody involved with this truck.
And Jack, you're the points leader. What do you think of that?
That's pretty cool. Hi, Rick. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, Jack Sprague will walk away, drive away in his Chevy truck, the points leader of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
So let's take a look at our full field results. Behind Sprague, the arrows signify if you led a lap. We had 6 leaders. Sprague gets 10 points for leading the most laps. And then Compton, Hughes, Hensley also in there, as well as Hornaday, who led. But boy, look, he finished all the way back in 11th. And that is why Jack Sprague is going to take over the points championship lead. Here is the others who have led. Randy Renfro stayed out in the 6 truck along to collect the 5 bonus points as well. A couple of the guys had some real tough days, and you can see them at the back of the field. When we come back, we'll wrap things up here from I-70 Speedway, where Jack Sprague has won for the first time in his career, and the first of 1999. Round 8 of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on ESPN is brought to you by ESPN Video. Get your officially licensed NASCAR videos from ESPN Video. By the new Dodge, it's about change. And by the Auto Vent Shade Company, maker of the original vent visor and other quality products. Auto Vent Shade, you're only as cool as your shades. Let's go down to Amy East, who's with second place Dennis Setzer. This is his best run of the season.
And that's exactly why he has a huge smile on his face. An excellent run for you, Dennis. When you knew it was going to be a green-white checkered shootout, did you think you had anything for Jack Sprague, or did you know you would need to hold on for second?
No, you know, I knew we had a definite second-place finish right there, and that was our only opportunity maybe to get Jack right there. He'd got a couple truck lengths on us right there before that deal, but our Mopar team done a great job all day. They got us in and out of the pits. You know, the Dodge truck just done flawless all day.
It seemed to me that on longer runs, your truck got faster, so you were probably not too happy with that last yellow flag there.
Yeah, well, you know, it seemed like we would have probably rather run 35 laps green when it started back that time, and we'd probably had a better opportunity, but everybody's on the same situation. Just glad to be a part of Craftsman Truck Series.
Keep it up, Dennis. You're 7th in points. Good luck next week.
Thank you very much.
Well, Amy, you can tell him he had the 4 fastest race laps as well, between laps 187 and 191. He was flying. Take a look at the points after 8 rounds now. Jack Sprague by 6 over Ron Hornaday. Stacy Compton remains in 3rd. Andy Houston moves up to 4th. Kevin Harvick drops to 5th. And speaking of Andy Houston, he has matched his best performance of the year. He was 3rd at Phoenix. He's 3rd today, and he's with Dave Burns.
They have hung in there all year long, and to be 4th in points, Andy, you've got to be pretty happy and with the performance of the truck today.
Yeah, really we are. We had a pretty uneventful day. Just, you know, we had a plan before this race started, was to run all day and stay out of trouble, and that's what we did with our Cat Rental Store Chevrolet. You know, to come out of here with a top 5 and especially top 3 is, you know, that's really good. The pit crew had awesome pit stops all day long, and they just done a great job in the pits. And
this track makes events, Andy. How did you stay uneventful all day?
Well, I did have a couple close calls there. I got in the back of Stacy Compton one time and pushed the nose and stuff in on one of those restarts. But really, other than that, I just tried to keep it straight and, you know, to stay out of trouble. But one thing I'd like to add, I'd like to say hi to Rick Corelli, who's back home. I'm sure he's glad to be home, and I know he would rather be here. But we miss you, buddy. We hope you're getting better, and we'll see you here in a couple weeks.
All right, and Rick, Andy piloted a Chevy to 3rd today.
And that is the sign on the inside wall. And get well quick, Rick, from all of them. Tomorrow, the NASCAR Busch Series, champion Dale Earnhardt Jr. He won last year's first Union 200. Can he do it again? Find out at noon Eastern tomorrow on ESPN. Stacy Compton has gotten back into the top 5. He's only missed it once, and he's with Amy East.
His pep talk from Kevin Cram had to get you guys back going for the weekend. Muscle Man, though, tell me about what happened to you on lap number 4.
Well, we lost the power steering again. We've got same truck in Martins. We got something a little wrong with it, but the guys, I tell you what, they done a good job. Got us in and out of the pits good. We chased the truck a little bit today. We were tight and then loose. We never could get what we needed, and we were tight early and got beside those lap trucks and just never could get a run on anybody. But good job with this Royal Crown team. I tell you what, these guys put us in contention week in and week out, and we'll be there at the end of the year, hopefully. We needed this. We needed a rebound, and we'll go get them next week.
All righty, good luck. Dave Burns?
Jimmy Hensley was one of the fastest trucks in the beginning. Jimmy, you've had better trucks here at the end. What happened?
We just got loose, Dave. You know, boy, we was really hooked up to start with. I mean, we just drove by those guys and just checked out. It just, the farther I ran, you know, the looser I got. And it looked like once we got loose, we just really never could get it tightened up like we needed to. And, you know, Fred and the guys did a great job in the pits and just kept, you know, jagging wedge in it and taking spring rubbers out. And, you know, we hung on and had a good top 5 today, so we're happy with that.
And the fact that he had the top 5 guys here at I-70, a loose truck is pretty scary. Jimmy Hensley did a good job of piloting that thing around here.
Yeah, that's 2 top 5s in a row for Jimmy Hensley, as he has done very well. Taking a look again at the final results. While we take a look at this, BP, we've got a chance to update Tim Steele. He is in stable condition right now. They are taking more x-rays, possible fractured ribs and a possible fractured leg after that hard contact with the wall.
It's unbelievable Ron Hornaday, as much as he struggled today, would still come home in 11th spot. What a tribute to the team in Hornaday.
Well, that's what's great about this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. In fact, if you look down through the entire summary, you see guys constantly putting on performances where the team fights, scratches, claws their way to stay in the battle, and somehow they manage to pull it off. We've seen Jack Sprague do it. We've seen Ron Hornaday do it. That's why they're champions. We're also seeing some newcomers do it as well, such as Kevin Harvick in his first full season with the Liberty Racing team. Any final comments? We've got a little bit of a break now, and 2 weeks for everybody to get reloaded for Bristol.
When you looked at this racetrack, coming in here on Friday morning, seeing what these fellows were going to race on, I thought we were going to see a lot more crashes and disasters than we saw today. I think that most everyone did a terrific job today, giving and taking. When the truck would get on the inside of them, they'd move up the hill and let them have that spot. So therefore, it's a pretty clean race, really.
7 cautions, the record's 11. A very happy Jack Sprague. Very much willing to do the hat dance in victory lane as everybody getting all the proper photos taken care of. As far as our race coverage, we're going to take a look at the points first. Jack Sprague by 6 over Ron Hornaday. Stacy Compton 27 back. Andy Houston in 4th. Harvick, Biffle, Setzer, Mike Wallace, Kevin Sawinski, and we haven't talked enough about Sawinski today. Again, the auto trim design Ford, he finished in 6th spot. This team has been consistent all year long.
And Shelley Brevac told me today they were planning on leading their first lap ever in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Shelley, when we go to Bristol 2 weeks from now, we will hold you to that. We expect to see that 31 truck on taking the lead and leading the lap in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Tonight on RPM tonight with Reese Davis, we'll have qualifying highlights from Indianapolis. Of course, highlights from what happened here at Odessa. And Busch Series qualifying from Nazareth. That's 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific tonight over on the Deuce, ESPN2 with Reese Davis. That's RPM tonight. Don't forget our next truck race. We're going to be 2 weeks with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. As we take it to Bristol, we'll race under the lights. We'll move over to our sister station, ESPN2, for the Coca-Cola Family 200 from Thunder Valley, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. That's Saturday, June 5th. And for all that information, you can log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com. So congratulations to that man right there, Jack Sprague, his first victory of 1999, first ever here at Odessa at I-70. Coming up next, Senior PGA Golf. In fact, Jack Nicklaus is back for the first time since his hip replacement surgery. I think he shot a 2-over yesterday. Good to see the Golden Bear back out on the golf course. That's coming up next on ESPN. Dennis Conner, you don't have to worry anymore, buddy. You got that first victory. Congratulations to the GMAC Chevrolet team. For Benny Parsons, Dave Burns, Amy East, I'm Marty Reed. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time we go racing here on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com. So long, everybody.